Welcome to the official alpha review of RimWorld. I'm your host, GameroftheBeer, and let's dive right into what makes this game tick. RimWorld is a sci-fi colony sim with a little Wild West added in. The game is currently in alpha for PC with no current plans for console ports. The game draws inspiration from TV's Firefly and games such as Dwarf Fortress, which largely pioneered colony simulation. At this time, the game only has a single-player mode, with the possibility of multiplayer being added in the far future. Currently, Ludeon Studios only has one full-time employee with a small handful of contracted collaborators, so you wouldn't expect such an audacious endeavor, but this game already can be considered highly successful in indie terms, with over 50,000 copies being sold. The game allows you to generate unique planets based on seeds. After saving the planet, not literally, the player can then use it for numerous playthrough attempts starting in various locations. However, the negative to that is that the map is not continual and is limited to a small grid, essentially preventing you from traversing the whole world. Each location can have varying biomes and unique terrain. Once you create your world, it is time to settle on your 3 starting colonists. This can be done to randomize any number of traits or stats. You can even name them, although I wouldn't recommend naming them after people you know because they'll likely die. Be warned though, not all colonists are willing to do all the tasks, and starting the game with unwilling colonists can be a severe hindrance. There are 3 AI directors that will curate a story and events in the game, each with its own primary traits. You can then alter the difficulty level of each AI director. For first playthroughs, I would highly recommend starting on casual if you want a longer session. Experienced players with colony management games should be able to play on higher levels of difficulty, most likely be crazy at first. Even with Cassandra Classic set on casual, you'll have challenging moments. They just won't come right away. Once you start the game, you're quickly told that your colonists are crashing towards a foreign planet after barely making it to their escape pods. The cause of your ship's explosion is unknown and not relevant to the game's story. However, 3 survivors made it, the 3 you created. Don't let that fool you though. You are not alone on this planet and will most likely find yourself at war with numerous factions and friends with a few others. At this point, the game follows a typical collect, craft, construct recipe that doesn't get old due to the changing requirements of survival in your colony. The game can shift quickly, the enemy seems to constantly scale in difficulty, diseases become more common, as well as a slew of other random and the weather, along with the seasons, will change as well. All these elements combine to create a fun experience that never has lulls unless you specifically want to play that way. Even losing in this game feels rewarding since you'll always walk away with new knowledge on how to play the game going forward. The game does take into consideration cover mechanics and pass injuries into each shot you fire at the opposition. It is a largely tactical game, and those who do not respect those aspects will most likely have to dig many graves. On top of that, you have to keep your character sane. I know this doesn't seem like much, but if you throw your guy into a boiling hot room without a real bed and feed him human flesh, you will have a guy with a mental breakdown shortly. The guy will literally lose his shit and either just wander off or could potentially kill someone. This game is managing every aspect of your ideal colony, and if you don't pay attention or invest yourself in the game, it will end real quick. From a graphical and playstyle aspect, the game is in large very reminiscent of Prison Architect. The game used to look like a clone of it, but thankfully as updates have come out, they have tweaked the various features and appearance of the characters. The music in the game always adds to the atmosphere, and while the sound effects are not AAA, they are far from crap. The game does have a few bugs or issues in its current build, though. Deconstructing a double bed turned out to be highly frustrating for me, as it seemed like my guy just stood right next to it instead of breaking it down into its components. It wasn't until someone actually tried to get in the bed that it disassembled. Also, on another note, I'm not sure if this is intentional, but removing flooring back to natural ground seems currently impossible. So make sure you definitely want those floors in the spot you're marking and don't have any intention of a remodel that involves placing a new garden where there was once a room. The game is currently purchasable from RimWorld's website for $30 and is considered an alpha, even though it doesn't feel like one in my opinion. This game would feel at home on services such as Early Access, but I can respect the decision to sell direct while in a partial state. Will you get your $30 worth of joy out of the game? Most likely yes. Is it a nuisance to purchase the game directly? A little. But it also provides a studio developing the game 100% of the money since they are not using a distributor. Thank you for checking out my review, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm always looking for feedback. Thank you and have a good day.